Welcome to my YouTube video where I am going to explain to you the 20 questions that you must ask before purchasing land, especially if you're purchasing land for your family homestead. Question number 1 is, are the corners of the property already marked? I will tell you, I have been to a ton of properties and I couldn't figure out where it began and where it ended. Go ahead and ask the sellers, hey, are these marked so I can walk from point A to B and understand specifically how long your property is. There's nothing more frustrating as a realtor than touring a property and your client falling in love with a creek that they think is on their land, and unfortunately, it's nowhere close. Question number 2, do you own all of the rights to the land and the timber that is on the land? When buying a piece of property, you should always inquire about timber rights. This is relatively an old legality where someone can own rights to timber on the land, some timber on the land, without actually owning the land itself. So if there is a reservation of timber rights for the land, the holder of that reservation can come onto the property at any time and cut down those trees. On top of that, some may also include that you yourself as the landowner cannot cut down any of that timber without prior permission. If the property you are looking at is coming with timber reservation, you really need to understand the legal meanings of the word in that document and hire a lawyer. And please note that there are other mineral rights that you might need to be made aware of. The most common that we hit here in Florida is going to be timber rights, and that is why this is in my top 20 questions. Question number 3, who owns the road and maintains it? Now, if it is a city or county owned road, obviously they are in charge to maintain it. But if you go out and buy a piece of land that is on a private road, now what? Well, usually a private road will have a road maintenance agreement that everyone that owns on that road will need to sign. Private roads are usually maintained by HOAs or private property owners. And that's specifically who I'm going to talk to, is private property owners. If you do get a copy of the road maintenance agreement, I would obviously have a lawyer look over that before you sign it. Usually an agreement will consist of 2 parts. It will state what work needs to be done and how long it will take and who will take care of that responsibility. The second part usually consists of the payment stipulations from a homeowner or an association for repair work and maintenance. So each private road maintenance agreement is unique. So please have a lawyer look over it before you sign. Question number 4, does the property have access to the road, or is it considered landlocked? Meaning it's locked in by other pieces of property that you do not own. And if you were to get to the property, you would have to trespass on somebody else's property. Obviously, no one really wants property that is landlocked unless they own the adjacent piece of land. And you really wouldn't want to own land that you always have to get permission to walk to. Now, there are things called easements that we could get for you to have access to it, but ultimately landlocked property consists of more legal documents that would need to be made in order for you to use it. Number 5, does the property have any easements on it? Now, if you get a survey of the property, you're going to be able to see where the easements are. But here are 3 easements that you might see very commonly. Number 1 is a utility easement. So at the front of your property, if your local electric authority needs to get to their electrical lines, you might have an easement in the front of your property or the side. Another one is a railroad easement. CXX has an easement on our property that if they need to, they are able to use that to access the railroad. Another one is an easement. Let's just say you have someone that owns land behind you and they have a road easement to get to their property. You're going to want to know what these easements are so that you're prepared in the event that someone shows up. Question number 6, how is the property zoned? Is it commercial? Is it residential? Is it residential rural? Is it ag? And depending on how you go to use this property, the zoning is super important, specifically for financing. So ahead of time, go ahead and look and see, okay, what is the zoning? Is that how I intend to use it? And can I get financing on it? Now, we're not really gonna go over zoning in this video. That can be another YouTube video, but I do want you to be aware that zoning plays an important part when purchasing your homestead. Now, question number 7, let's say you purchase this land and it is not zoned residential, and that is how you intend on using the homestead property. You need to find out, is the property able to be rezoned from its current state to residential or residential rural or ag, if that's how you intend on using it. Now, this might be something that the current owners do not know, but they might have already done some digging or spoken with the county to see if they would actually allow that. So go ahead and pop that question. Hey, can I rezone this? Do you know of any restrictions that I need to be made aware of prior to going under contract with this piece of property? Question 8, are there any zoning restrictions on how many dwellings can be on the property? So let's say you want to use this property, build a beautiful house, you want to build a beautiful barn, you want to build a beautiful workshop as well. Oh, and then maybe a mother-in-law suite. I think you would like to know how many dwellings can be on the property. That is something that you need to know ahead of time if that's your intended use of it. If you plan on sharing the property with family, make sure before you purchase that's something that you can actually do. Number 9, will the county allow you to subdivide your property? There are many restrictions on subdividing a property where we are from. And so make sure when you go to buy it and you intend on subdividing it and giving 5 acres to this family member, maybe 10 acres to this family member, and you only keep 1, or however you decide to do it, you need to know upfront that they will allow you to do that. There's nothing more frustrating than buying, 40 acres of land with the intention of sharing it and maybe having a family compound, and the county says absolutely not. Or the county says yes, but here is your hefty fine. You need to know that in advance. It's pretty important. Question number 10, are there utilities already on the property? If so, fantastic. That means someone else has already done the work, and hopefully it's located where you need it to be. In particular, when I talk about utilities, I'm talking about electric, well, and septic, and maybe even internet. That would be great as well. I mean, if there's not a home, there might not be internet, but I think it's pretty cool if you have electric, well, and septic already done on the property. That's less you have to do, but also that adds value to the property for the seller as well. This video ended up being way longer than I had planned. So if you would like to receive the additional 10 questions you need to ask when purchasing land, please head to the link in my bio and sign up to receive the PDF with all 20 questions and part 2 video. I'm Katie Shota, your homestead realtor. And if you love this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe. See you later.